public hearing to order.
Hold on just a second.
Recording in progress.
Call the public hearing to order. This is a public hearing on resolution number 2027-01R. This resolution is for setting the pay rates for the employees and contract workers for the 2026-2027 budget year. The pay rates, whereas section 744201 of Montana Code annotated mandates the establishment salaries and compensation of elected and appointed city officials and all city employees by ordinance or resolution. Now therefore be it resolved, this is the town council, the pay rates for employees and contract workers to be approved as follows. Utility clerk, $17.50. Clerk-treasurer, court clerk, $25. Police chief, $27. Police officer, $23. Fill-in police officers, $20. Water, wastewater operator, $25. Public works, $20.50. Public works employee, $18.50. Fill-in, call-in public works at $16. Library, $14.50, $13.95, $11.85, $13.95. These are all because of different years of service, that's why they're different rates. Library director, $19. Mayor, $700 a month. Judge, $900 a month. City attorney, $1,500 a month. Council members, $100 a month. Council president, $125 a month. Fire chief, $600 a year. Is there any public comment or questions on wages?
We didn't get a copy of that.
It's in your
Copy. What are we talking about?
mine. Yeah, that's where mine was.
I'm not surprised it's not, but it
Well, they just had my real
somebody
name.
get two?
No,
Well, whoever made it told me. Well, he didn't even put my real name on there, so
I said,
hey.
oh, she's gonna be so mad at you.
You call people what they prefer to be called. But yeah, I don't have anything. Oh wait, never mind, it was way back in the back, stuck to another piece of paper. I'm sorry, I'm like, what the heck?
So I have my back.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, you did leave one over here. I wasn't sure if it was that.
it is.
Okay, no, that was that,
Yeah, I didn't get one.
so we didn't.
Not stuck to any of my paperwork.
So what was the percentage increase, since we don't have what the previous
It was
was?
$2. It was
What?
flat, $2. $2,
okay.
So that runs about 10%. Some a little less than that, some a little more than that. So it's a flat $2 straight across. So some people, 80%, so the lower ones don't.
Is David Kunzelman, is that the guy that was from Kalispell?
He did not get a raise because he's only here 4 times a year.
I know, but is that what that name is?
No, he's from Missoula, and goes to school somewhere else. He's in a PA program somewhere, so, no, he's from Missoula.
Okay.
Nobody from Kalispell right now.
I thought, wasn't there somebody who used to come down to fill it? Okay.
Yeah, no. Gary, 2 years ago, was probably the last, at least 2 years ago, Gary.
Okay.
So really the kind of to appoint the wages are to the job to appoint. Because of longevity, we give the increases too, for the cost of living increases that go with that. Added in, so the raise was 80 cents to the cost of living increase, or whatever it figures out to. Any other Comments, questions? You don't have any questions on wages?
Isn't there a shortfall on the library end?
Yeah.
This doesn't change any of the library, this is where they're set at right now. Because they just got their raises like a month ago.
Salaries for the library without the add-ons or comp PERS group insurance. So salaries like in 22-23 were 47,567. Then 46,354, 56,451 this year. 2506 was 62,721, and they proposed 63,995. So from 22 to 26 have jumped about 16,000 wages. And their total budget this year will be 102,703. Anything else? We'll close the public hearing. We'll open the town council meeting. Roll call.
Smith,
Welker,
Carr,
Wood.
waiting on you.
I guess.
Got approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the June meeting. Second motion.
Any council discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So we got two guys to fill in for one guy?
Yeah.
Oh, and Trudy missed the last council.
Yes, so I
Oh.
I was running the election. if you recall.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so you missed that. So we hired a guy. He lasted 3 days. You know, we had our company. So there were other people that applied. So we went back to the deal. One of them was Rowan Zimmerman, and the other one is Calvin.
Timmer.
Calvin's only gonna be here, was only gonna be here for like 2 months. He'd go to college. So we had a lot of mowing and painting and all that stuff to do, so we went ahead and hired Calvin as just an extra guy in Rowan to try and get some of the stuff caught up. So Calvin's gonna be leaving here pretty soon. Then Rowan's gonna fill in until things change with the other employees, so.
And Rowan, when he started, he had to give 2 weeks notice to his previous job, and so he wasn't available right away.
So yeah, so Calvin was able to come to work right away. Rowan had to wait 2 weeks, so just kind of saw that.
Thank you.
I don't think there was anything else. Was there anything else in there that?
Not really.
But that's why that was happened. So, okay. Motion been made second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Claims? You have a new one in the packet. There's some big things on there. So there's the pump for the lift station at $21,308. And then the Northwest Display Fireworks, $6,488.
That one pump?
That's one pump. And I called around.
It's explosion proof and all that.
Yeah, so what we did is, that's from the original company that put the other ones in. So they had all the specs and they had all the sizing and everything.
Is it two or three?
There's 3 down there. So then I called around a bunch of different pump companies getting prices. And when you started getting apples to apples, they're all right in there at that same price. then the trouble was, we started talking to the different guys, you know, like your flange sizes and all the different things that come into play there. We just went back to that original company, just because they have all the information in front of them. Their rep actually came out and verified everything in the hole before he ordered. And so they were, I mean, they did a good, I mean, they were very conscientious. It was very expensive at $21,000, but they did send a guy out to look to make sure that was going to be the right one for us and all that stuff.
They also let us know that the price was going way up after July 1st, so if we wanted to do, which we'd already talked to council a couple months ago now, the approval, but all the checking to make sure on the prices, and the guy called, they just want to let you know, this price is going to be going up here in a couple weeks, so if you guys are ordering it, we can do it before July 1st.
The other large item on here is fence panels for the rodeo grounds, so the movable fence panels, about 75 of them.
Is that part of the
Grant.
grant?
Yeah. See how we use them at homesteaders and actually use them again for the 4th of July down there. We're able to cordon off places with them. It worked real well. Now people can't get through and you can move them easy. They're 12 feet long and 6 feet high. And use them for the animals, use them for people, use them for anything. So that was ours.
How'd that go, letting the local public shoot off some fireworks?
It worked wonderful.
That's next month.
Everybody really
gotta talk about that.
enjoyed the show, yeah.
There's a claim, it's not it'll be on the next month's claim, but we also had to buy insurance to do the fireworks. MIA doesn't cover, so we had to get the special event insurances.
Red light and special event
It's
insurance.
$357, but it covers for special events through the whole entire year.
But you got some public donations to go with the grant money that,
Yeah. Actually, the donations kept coming in, so we had already bought everything, paid for everything, so the donations kept coming in, so we already have a good start on next year's shows.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was.
maybe buy the next grade of hot dogs up.
You didn't like those?
No. That was the worst hot dog I ever had, free hot dog I've ever had.
Oh, no, they could have been worse. There was cheaper ones.
Yeah.
Those were on sale. There was even a Spam hot dog.
Oh.
Blech.
Just more ketchup.
Make a motion to accept the claims.
Motion been made, second. Any council discussion on claims? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is your, we already approved the April financials.
No, we did March last time, and April, this time, and May wants it. The bank is creating a heartache for me. When they changed their system, you can't pull the reports that I used to pull out of there, so now I have to wait for them to come to me. And I don't have to, I'm just off, so I was trying to get it done tonight, I didn't quite get it done. You guys might have been given the April ones during the budget review though, because they wanted to table all the budget review. And then I couldn't find them anymore for the weekend.
Well, I'll make a motion, we approve the April financials.
Motion made by the second.
Second.
Motion made second. Any council discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Reports, this month was just, it just kind of disappeared. It was there and then gone. So busy with the budget stuff, the budget meetings also, we're going to talk about a little bit. Busy with the sidewalk stuff, the open house, and go through all that, talking to some landowners, the sewer stuff, and doing all that. Fireworks, that was, putting on a bigger show like that and then not have a lot of time, kind of the first time, so lining up the fireworks and then putting them together so the show goes off good, but also, you know, how to cook the hot dogs and your sanitation license and your special event insurance. So it was kind of just a busy, where we're gonna do it, how we're gonna fence people off, how we're gonna do all that stuff. So it's just been a busy month, just everything going on, keeping the employees busy. It's been, actually, the two young guys have been really gung-ho, so it's been good with them. In Public Works, that's what they've been doing, is mowing, cleaning, painting, pothole patching. They're gonna get on more of that here. They're gonna start pressure washing and painting curbs, pressure washing fire hydrants. They got a long list of stuff. You'll probably see them around town, cycling valves in the street. So there's a big list of stuff for them to do, and they're pretty busy here for the next couple of months. So with that, fire department, we've had a few car crashes. We've had actually one car crash with a fatality this month. A grass fire, and then we had one fireworks fire. It was actually in the back of a vehicle that set some fireworks off, threw in the back of the pickup with their good fireworks, and their old fireworks were still on fire. So the local law enforcement was about 1 in the morning out driving around and noticed it, and actually the fire department was just putting the trucks away, so the response time was pretty quick to that, and got that taken care of. Explosive. All Eric's fault. It was only a block away, 2 block and a half away, so quick response. So yeah, it's just been a busy month going through everything, but not really anything too wild. So.
On the Public Works, are they still gonna pick up yard waste, like, okay,
Yeah.
so
Third Thursday of the month.
the what?
Third Thursday.
Okay, they started that.
Yep.
Let them know before I started pruning all my trees.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they did. They started a couple months ago, so it's, I saw there's a list started already up there for this month. Yeah, well, it's just
I got a couple weeks to get my button here. But everything else, all the kittens I'm rescuing, over 20 so far, and I got another 30 to pick up.
So yeah, it's just been a busy month dealing with, the other thing is all bears in town. That's another thing that, we've had a lot of trouble early this year. Some have been relocated, some had to be put down, so that's just where it's at. Tribal fishing game has been handling all that. Police?
All right. Our normal court bailiff, court security for the court. We hold homestead days. We had 1 arrest, multiple incidents of juveniles, lead to curfew. The kids were quite a challenge this year. There was a small group, and then one led to the arrest. They kind of encircled this lady, and it got physical, so we had to make an arrest on that. And then I invoked the curfew enforcement and escorted the kids off the street. This was at midnight, so there really was no reason for them to be out there anymore during the dance, causing problems. So we got responsible people and or parents to take those kids home. 8 arrests, 3 were warrants. We're only able to transport 2 prisoners. The jail had to shut down mid-month again, and they were only taking felonies and domestics. And then later we found out they were taking DUIs, but we didn't know at the time. 13 car stops, 7 citations, mainly no insurance and no driver's license. Had an ad hoc ice cream with a cop. It was warm out, so it was payday Friday, so I went and spent some money and had some ice creams with the kids. Up at Bucks Tribal Center invited us for a meet and greet and some food. There's been a lot of misinformation provided on social media about what the police are doing, who they're dealing with, and the arrest contacts being made. So I'm going to create a public page which will be name, charges, location, and booking photos of accurate booking information. Not what people think they heard, what they think they saw, or any of that. It's going to be facts based on a crime report. It's very successful in Pablo. I don't know if you've ever seen their page, but it is phenomenal. I can only hope to get to that level. They have police radio traffic, booking photos, criminal charges. So in light of being transparent, this is what we're being asked to do. We're gonna start that process.
So is it gonna be a separate page or connected to the towns or how?
I'm not quite sure yet. I don't want it to be, hey, look who we got. You know, it's more of, this is what happened, this is what we went to, this is what we were called to, this is what we observed, and this is what took place. So I don't know if it's gonna dovetail off the town page, or if we create our own. I know other smaller agencies have that type of information for the public, so more on that. About 75 to 80 miles on a bike. We had 3 out at one time during Homestead, so that was a lot of fun. I know next month is July for the July report, but I just wanted to say that over all my years of policing and going with my family to firework events, this was high quality. The forethought and the planning. I even didn't get involved. My main concern was safety. So if something were to happen, especially when the public was bringing unregulated, perhaps fireworks that could cause a problem and or injury, I wanted to have a safe escape for people to leave should an emergency happen. And it was already covered by the town, so we just showed up with our bikes and threw out things for the kids and families. So it was a good time. So I was really thankful and appreciative and proud of what you guys did.
The police bikes were all decked out and lights too, so it was fun. You could see them in the dark crowd.
Oh, you did the Burning Man thing, huh? Could have shared some of my stuff. I still got a whole tote full.
We had a real sensitive case, of felony incest, main arrests, got sought a warrant. Officer Byzantine was the lead investigator on that, and I just wanted to congratulate him publicly so that the town was aware. Sean's a part-time employee, and in over 30 years of doing what I do, and the criminal investigations that I've had been part of, helped, or conducted, the level 100 some hours involved.
At least just an investigator.
To get a felony warrant sought by the county attorney for an arrest is monumental. So I think he can touch on it a little bit. It's still in the works. I think the victim had their hearing today in court, and so a lot of investigative work by the department. Sean, Justin, we did many forensic interviews, and these types of investigations are very complex. And for a patrol level part-time officer to get that type of success at a county attorney is big. So you want to touch a little bit on it?
You said most of it. Can't share too much other details besides that. But just the amount of exhausting all of our resources between us three, but then other state agencies, our software that we've been utilizing, IDI Core, Secure Warrant, were some of the things that made it possible. Definitely collaborating with different agencies. We got some really good feedback from other agencies that haven't seen that type of work come out before. It's none of the fun, cool, highlight reel stuff. It is tedious, monotonous, terribly boring, terribly disgusting to go through the details of that. And you have to watch it 100 times to hear exactly what that was and exactly what the demeanor. And so it was one of those important cases that I'm glad we were all here to make sure that that individual gets justice, and so they'll be starting the trial process soon. That's about it. Let's see. Oh, on that Facebook page, just so everyone kind of remembers too, like we hear it a lot that folks are like, well, here's their booking photo and their charges, and we want to know everything. Show us all the reports, show us the body cams. Well, these individuals still have privacy rights. They're innocent until proven guilty. All right, so that's showing there's a charge, and there was enough evidence for a charge. But that also doesn't mean the floodgates are open. Well, you have to show us all the body cam. We're entitled to all the reports. No, you're not, because they have privacy rights too as individuals. And Montana's very protective of the enhanced privacy rights that only a handful of states have. And so just keeping that in mind, well, we want to know more. Well, we can't always just tell you more, and then it violates their rights. So just
To clarify, it'll be an information page only, no public comment. You cannot block anyone in the public. MCA states that you cannot. So you cannot block any viewers, but if you do not allow public comment on for anybody, then you don't have to allow public comment at all. You can use it as an information page only, and that is the goal of that. That's the way our town page works also. It's an information page only, so no commenting on the town pages.
And then just one last thing, if the sunburn and the sweat started an impromptu touch football kids in town, Justin and I, it's our third week now playing with them, so Tuesdays about 5:30ish, send the kids all down to the football field, we throw a little football with them and have a good time. Good productive fun, some exercising to meet the kids, and even had a couple parents show up and play with us too, so it's nice. So, Tuesdays, 5:30.
Thank you. Clerk?
I don't have a lot. We've had a few people come in looking for burn permits. Burn season is closed everywhere right now. But the town doesn't do burning after the end of May anyways. So we don't have any burn permits. We've had a little bit of problems with some dog at large calls lately. So just a reminder to get your dogs under control and licensed and take care of that. We'll have a budget hearing at 6 p.m. prior to the next town council meeting, so that everyone's aware. It will be an hour before the next town council meeting. We'll have our preliminary budget hearing. Of course, that'll just be the preliminary numbers, as we don't get the final still later.
Okay. Library?
Oh, she asked if we would read this because she's sick. Do you want to read it? You want me to read it?
Library report services to the public and staff received AED and stop the bleed and Narcan training from Emmett Tucker. He signs autographs after. From Hot Springs Ambulance, June 29th. The AED is in the box on the wall just right at the doors as you come in the library. Book discussion will be July 9th at 3. The book is by Tony McFadden. Books in Search of Kids will be in the farmer's market at the park Saturdays from 10 to 2. Other permitting collections. The summer make an offer book sales going on. Technology, nothing new. General administrative business, the Sanders County Commissioners appointed Barb Fink June 17th to replace Rue Reitzman as library board trustee. We thank Rue for his many years of service and welcome Barb to the team. The library board will meet in the library Wednesday, July 15th at 5 p.m. for the monthly meeting. New patrons, 411 walk-ins, 123 computer users, 41 wireless users, 111 children, 416 prints, and 86 copies. Okay, zoning compliance. Last month was not too many items, mainly people just asking fences and stuff like that, property lines and where things are going, so nothing really moving on anything in zoning right now. Parks and Recreation.
Nothing to report, other than we have a letter of interest out for people to join the board.
I did it to the last week of July, sometime between now and then, to get your letters of interest in to City Hall if you want to be on the board.
Yep, let's open until a week or so before the next council meeting, so we can appoint the next meeting. Moving on to new business. First item is resolution 2027-01R, a resolution for setting the pay rates for employees and contract workers for the 2026-2027 budget year. Motion to approve. Any public discussion? Anything?
I make a motion, we approve resolution 2027-01R, resolution for setting the pay rates for employees and contract workers for the 2026, 2027 budget year.
Second.
Motion made, second, any council discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, because it had me laying on top, I'm gonna jump forward the sidewalk project. This goes way on top of my pile, so. Everyone remembers where the sidewalks are gonna go. So on Main, from Wall up to Orchard, they'll get new sidewalk down Wall on the west side, all the way down to Third. And then on Orchard, on the east side of the street, all the way down to Third. And then from Third back to Spring, and Second back to Spring, and then tying in some different stuff and fixing some different stuff. So sidewalk project, the state and the engineers were all here, they had an open house. It was well attended as open houses go. We did way better in Alberton. Alberton had nobody at their open house, so we had, I don't know, 20 some people.
I heard it on the radio several times.
Yeah, they did. They spent a lot of money advertising, and they do that, trying to get people to come to the meetings. They encourage people to come and look at it so they can talk. They do it very one-on-one, so you just come and talk to the engineer, or talk to the state engineer, or whatever on that. So the sidewalks will be on grade, which is a little higher than the street. They're going to be over on the property line. The idea is that they can bring people from that part of town, because it's going to be at the Sophia Springs, the Symes, those places, Almeida's, all those, and be able to walking back up to Main Street or that area, walking. You know, a lot of people even travel from, they'll be at like Sophia Springs and walk over the Symes, maybe to somewhere, you know, whatever. So I just help give that path so they're not walking in the middle of the street. We walked it all with the engineers, and then they did the open house and everything. So that comment period, everything's closed on that. They're going into final. So fixing a few things we saw with that before they went into final. One of the things is Gibson wasn't able to make it to the open house and stuff, and then they actually went to talk to her when they were in town, and she was out of town that day. So I went and talked to her, showed her what was going to happen at her place. There'll be, when the sidewalks go in, there won't be any parking on Main Street from her place anymore, because her sidewalk that's there today is hers. So the town has to keep the sidewalk in the right of way, so they come down and then bulbs out and goes around the stop sign. So she was happy about it, because it helps link her business back up to those other places and stuff too. So she was fine with everything they were doing. And they were doing some different things along her building. Their building's about a 1912 or 1915 building. And they don't want to do anything close to it, because they're afraid of disturbing the foundation. So it's kind of like some of the other stuff that was going on. So, and she was, of course, happy about that too. She wanted her building to fall down because they put a new sidewalk in. So some of the stuff they did there, the engineers spent quite a bit of time looking at that. So it's good. So you don't have any questions on the sidewalk, which it'll go to bid here. Hopefully, they'll have everything done for the September, October bid package. They'll put that out. Then, of course, that's be out for so many days and all that. Then get bids in, and then through the winter they'll award the bid. This will be for a next summer project. So, the next item is a sewer lagoon project. Sewer lagoon project is just getting close. We're at 75% design. So some of the things when they got into it and got to look at a few things, we're still in the design phase. So some things we talked about. We have 3 ponds, and what they'll end up doing is they'll take pond 1, work on it, and we can bypass ponds and they'll do things. We have to remove the sludge. So there's 2 ways of removing the sludge. One, you can take it out, pump it through a dewatering plant, turn it into just like a cake, take all the water out, pump the water back into the lagoons and do all that. You have to have a pretty good area to set up that machine and do all that, and then add about $100,000 to $150,000 to the project. The other option is they take and go in and pump water and take all the water and mix it with the sludge. So all the water in pond one will mix with all the sludge in pond one. The sludge is about 2 feet deep. The water is about 6 feet deep on top of that. The whole thing's about 8 feet deep, so there'll be a lot of water mixed with this sludge. Then what they do is they go out and ground apply it. They actually inject it underground. It looks like a disc, so it cuts the ground open. Then the actual water injectors are about 2 inches underground and actually inject it, so there's never any real sludge or water on top of the ground. It's designed to inject it underneath in the root bed with that. So to do that with this project, we need about 160 acres to do. If we dry it out, we can use our 40 acres or if we do it the sludge way, water, we have to find a farmer with 160 acres. And that was part of what we're doing now, and I do have an interested party. So he had seen it done before, heard of it before, so he was actually very.
So would we pay the farmer for doing it, or?
No, it was the fertilizer.
Oh, yeah.
So what you do is you look for a guy with alkali ground, because this will take and help bring that salt out of that alkali. And this guy does. He has a few hundred acres of borderline alkali ground, and he uses as pasture. So by injecting this, we'll do it, paying nothing. So
So does he have to leave animals off it for a while?
30 days. Yeah. It was a crop. It depends on the crop.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like hay, wait 30 days. It's usually you want to wait 30 days on that just for it to kind of dry out and stuff. But like you said, the place where he's to have us do it, he's going to have cows on right till fall. So and this will be done more in like May.
So do you do it just once a year, or is it just once?
It'll just be a one time.
Oh, okay.
So when they do this, what we're trying to do is get rid of the sludge
Right.
in the ponds. Once this sludge in this pond started building in 1983.
Right.
So it's never been taken out. So this, hopefully when they do all this, we redo the ponds 40 years before it's done again.
Okay.
So that's,
All right, so just a one-time?
yeah, one-time deal. And then the other thing that they did when they looked at the design, they have changed the design on some things. So our ponds have flat bottoms, and actually the ponds need to have slope bottoms. Because if you get air underneath the liner, it needs to be able to work its way out. And so that's one of the things we're going to have to dig out a bunch of dirt too, and find a home for that. So there's a few things like that they have to do to get into the project. So those are the two major things that we're working on, is finding a home for a bunch of dirt and finding a home for the sludge. I think we have all that.
Is dirt considered hazardous, even though
No,
it's
the liner
underneath the
is-
sealed liner, so there
No,
should be.
you can use the dirt anywhere you want. But like I said, they don't know what the dirt is. Is it a sandy, did they put in a sand base and then put the liner down, or is it just hard pan clay? But the ponds are fairly good size, so even when you're talking of taking it from the edges to the center and dropping it, probably a foot or 18 inches, I don't know what the drawing says, but you're not dropping a lot, but it's the problem, they're so big, it ends up being a few hundred yards of dirt, so. And that can just be put anywhere that we find a home for. So that's that. Then at the chlorinization station, one of the things we're doing there is they're putting in a little better flow meters, and then putting in a titration system and a monitoring system. So it'll monitor how much chlorine is in the water leaving the lagoon, and they can raise, drop, and lower the chlorine going into the contact basin. So we chlorinate before it leaves the lagoons to kill any last bugs. But what happens is temperature, flow rate, even bugs. You'll get surges of clean water and then surges of really dirty water. So we want our chlorine to be going up and down with that. So that's what one of the things they're doing, is putting in a monitoring system. Now they test it every day and look at it, test it and adjust it every day. With the new system, it'll be doing it all the time. It'll be looking at that. If it doesn't need the flow rates go way down, it can drop the chlorine way down. So those things to keep under a permitting process. So
Could be automated.
automated.
They're not doing it by hand.
Yeah, if you've been out there, the blowers are all on top, the blower lines are steel lines all on top of the ground. And we have real trouble like today and tonight, those long pipes swell and contract a lot. 100 degree, well, sun heating it, it's over 100 degrees today, now tonight it'll be 58 degrees. And we have a lot of trouble with the joints and stuff, pushing different things. So the new system, the main line will all be buried. The pipes will all be buried underground, just to keep that temperature. They come up and then go back under with our control valve out of the ground. That'll be all you can see. So that's pretty much the lagoon project. So once they start, a pretty long project just because it takes so long to move all that water, pull the liners, get everything ready to go, put in new liners, then put the new blower system in, the new bubbler system. We go to a fine bubbler system instead of the coarse bubbler we have now. So works a little better. They feel so. Any questions on the lagoon project? And we'll have, he said we're at 65%, they need to get some stuff figured out, come up and look at some stuff. Some of the new things they're doing, one of the things that our chlorine is just injected at the weir. They'll put a mixer in at the beginning of that, to help mix the chlorine. Ours now just gets injected and then it goes back and forth through a contact basin and then out to the creek where they'll put a mixer in there. So it's just making the system a little better. Hopefully it all works way better. Which it works good now, it's just easier to maintain, hopefully.
And how long are those liners supposed to last? What's the
20 years,
20 years?
so we're at 43. And then and if you go out there and look, you can see that they're, how like an old tire that's been laying in the sun looks, that's what the liners look like. They're just, and anything above ground, we've been patching. We have patching material to patch it. But what we're worried about, and it looks like that above ground, one of these days, whenever it gets a hole underground, then it blows the thing out is the problem. So, and of course the new liners, new materials, right away better than they were 43 years ago, hopefully. So, yeah.
How long are the new ones supposed to last? Is it a 20-year?
I don't know if they basically have looked at the paperwork on what the warranty is. That's probably something that comes with the, I don't think it's a spec called it. I'd have to ask them.
So you're still in the engineering phase. When do you think they'll actually start the project?
They hope to have the engineering done this summer. They hope to put this out to bid this fall, and this will be a next summer project.
Okay.
They hope to have it out for be a late fall, early winter bid, so a contractor can get it and start a spring start.
So in the spring, yeah.
And it won't be it won't be real early in the spring, but they'll start in spring, get some of that moved and start working on moving the sludge. So, yeah, I'll have to ask them on the liner with the liner. I've never actually looked at the liner specs to see if every manufacturer has something even a different grade of liner. I don't know what their life is. The old stuff lasted 43 years, so the new stuff should last at least that. I don't know if I'll be here in 40 years.
You probably will.
I probably would be. I eat right. Okay, if no more questions on the sewer lagoons, is there any public comment on non-agenda items?
Yes. I just remembered, I can do that during clerks. We had someone ask us, any group that comes to town, said they'd outgrown the senior center here for some of their workshops. So they would like to use the park for 4 days in October with a very big tent to be able to do some workshops over in the park too, so they can go back and forth between the senior center. So they're asking about the use of the park for something like that. I don't know if you guys remember, but the last meeting I actually brought in that ordinance and permit for public use. What I'll do, I'll probably notice that for the next meeting, so that we can start the process on that.
Who's the group?
The NA group.
Okay, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
And that's in
Was that in October?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel they're getting too many people for the senior center, so they wanted to know if they could put a tent up in the park, and then they can still use the senior center and the park. So it'd be like put the tent up on Thursday, take it down on Monday type thing.
Yeah, the Big NA group puts a tent up every year over at the Symes. And all of those women stay at the hotel, you know, but they want to be probably kind of close to the senior center because they've been doing their food in there.
Yeah, that was kind of their thing, is that they could just walk back and forth across the street.
Yeah,
Senior center. And then we talk about that anyways, in our ordinance review, is adding that to it as a, because you're gonna have different groups wanting to do different things like that, and the fee
Yeah.
schedule, I mean, there'd be a fee for that too.
right. See, I never charge them to put up that tent, but it's a very professional tent rental group. But I think you need to have a fee for that because there's gonna be a lot of foot
Well,
traffic.
Mark caught me today, and I need to talk to the farmer's market. They're setting up in the exact same spots every weekend, and they're starting to wear spots in the grass, so they need to, I'll have to catch them.
Adjust a little bit.
Yeah, so that they're not, because they're creating spots, and he's very particular about his grass in the park, so.
I loved it
Yes,
when
it
the
looks
farmer's
very good
market
out
went
there. It's doing a great
around
job.
that new on-the-wall gallery over Homesteaders. That was really cool.
And then,
Everybody walked around the outside and they had Keiko and Wayo playing music and maybe they would go over there for that weekend or something.
Well, by then they're
they're
done.
done by then.
Yeah, they're done by then.
Yeah.
Well, what's
we're
happening
talking
now
about
is it's hot enough out, the grass isn't really growing, and the people set their tents and things up in the same exact spots every weekend.
Sure, and it makes
So
it
now it's
yellow.
making, yeah, it's starting to yellow the grass in the parks, we just need
Yeah.
to move a little different every time, just to let that grass have a little breather.
Yes.
If it was still cool out and it was growing good, it wouldn't matter.
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
just- So, okay,
I have two things.
okay.
One is the chipper. Are they ever gonna figure out how to use it so we can get chips?
He was gonna use it this last time, but it had rained and everything was so wet.
Who's he?
Mark.
Oh.
Mark, I talked to Mark, when, on the last day of June, and I said, you better get your burn pile burned because you're out of, this is the last day. So he went ahead and burned that pile. They intend to use the wood chipper after they do the next cleanup, is kind of what he was saying.
Yeah, the chipper runs, it's all
Yeah.
ready to go. They
Right.
just
What,
have to-
I just remember when I asked you before, you said they couldn't figure out how to do it.
It got, yeah.
You know, that, I got everything fixed,
Okay.
and just run through another course on how
Okay.
to.
So my second point is, I thought that we're responsible for mowing around our property, right, on the outside?
Yes.
So I had mowed the front of my park, and I did most of my side, but I had a whole bunch of yarrow and tansy that was almost ready to bloom, and the public works guys came and mowed it all down. And it was
Before
clear.
homesteaders, if it's over a certain amount, they just try to clean it up because we have to have a time limit. And we don't have time to go door to door and have everyone else do it.
Well, it was just certain plants, though. I mean, there was a path through them that I had some tansy that I was waiting until it bloomed for the pollinators, and the yarrow I was planning to cut to distill, and next thing I know, I looked out my window and he's out there slashing, and it was clear I was saving it because I had made paths all around it and mowed almost everything except for this little patch of tansy and yarrow, and I thought, well, we're supposed to keep it cut.
I had talked to him about that because he was doing it all over the place, and that's because you cannot go to residents who have that tall in their yard if the city doesn't have all of their stuff mowed first.
Yeah.
So the right-of-ways all have to get mowed first before they can ding people for 3-foot weeds in their yard.
And normally they just run a route, they just take off and just start mowing and just go around and head through town and mow it. You know, start-
Well, is there a way, can I put a little fence around it when I'm trying to save some plants for one of the pollinators, which the bees need, and I was actually planning to, like I said, distill it.
The problem is,
Well, I'll sell that to you, that's
That's
a town product.
The problem is then the next person says they're growing a specific kind of wildflower in their right of way, and the next person wants to keep a specific kind of something in their right of way, and then everybody's got tall weeds in the right of way.
I can, actually, I know of one case, it was way before I was mayor, but there was a citizen in town that claimed everything in his yard was edible, so he didn't have to mow his yard down or do anything.
That actually is all edible.
It is, but that's not why we want you to mow it. I mean, it's a hazard for a bunch of different reasons, and that's why we just mow. Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, aye?
I
Aye.
Can I get a copy of the audit?